Hi, I want to know, am I stupid? I'm a 28. But think I must explain things about myself first. I take promises seriously, and I've rarely fell in love. My first love was my ex, Kevin. We met during our first year of college 10 years ago. We were seatmates, and at first I found him kinda annoying and stupid because he was so bad at his studies and would pester me constantly asking for answers on exams, asking me to help him with our projects, etc. When midterms were approaching, he asked me if I could become his tutor, and he would be paying me for the lessons. We started having a tutoring session in our school's library, and after a few weeks of tutoring him, I started seeing him in a new light. He was cheerful, playful, and surprisingly hardworking, even though nothing really sticks to his mind, no matter how hard and meticulous I tutored him. I didn't realize, but I was slowly started falling for him. When our midterms ended, his scores barely passed the subjects, but he was so happy and thanked me a lot that he asked me to go out to eat as his form of thanks of taking care of him. I didn't really have much experience with these kinds of things, but I was happy. During our dinner, he confessed to me that he was starting to like me. I also confessed that I liked him also, but I didn't want to rush into things, so I asked him if he could wait, that I needed to confirm my feelings, and that I wanted him to be sure also. A few months later, we eventually became a couple. Everything was perfect. He was sweet, funny, and would often take me on road trips and nature hikes. It was like I was living every girl's fantasy of having the perfect boyfriend. But things took a turn for the worst. We decided to finally introduce ourselves to our families. I introduced him first to my parents. My parents were very supportive as they weren't too strict with me, and I was free to date whomever I want. All they ask is that I finish my studies because we were struggling financially, and they wanted to at least see me succeed. He then introduced me to his parents. They seemed nice at first, but when the topic switched to my family and our situation, I noticed a slight shift in her mother's mood. I was worried that she might be thinking that I'm only dating his son for their money because they are a wealthy family. After that, nothing really happened. We continued dating, but I always feel guilty whenever we would go on a date, and when there are special occasions, I can't give him anything due to financial struggles, and he would often show me things he likes or would like to go. After a year of dating, our parents wanted to meet each other, so we arranged to go to a family restaurant. It wasn't so fancy, but the food was great. When my parents arrived, they could only order the cheapest food on the menu, and then that's when her mother started talking about our family situation. She said so much that I couldn't remember most of them, but essentially it was very demeaning for us. My mother took offense and they started arguing, and dinner was cut short. The next day, we all just tried to avoid the topic, and everything was still normal until a few weeks later. My boyfriend would suddenly become busy and not available after classes. His excuse was that his mother would look for him during those times and expect him to be at home already. I was very concerned and thought that the dinner incident might have caused bad blood between our families and would affect our relationship. I wasn't really prepared for our relationship to end because he was my first love. A year later, during our second year of college, everything still seemed fine, except for the fact that we couldn't really hang out much anymore after classes, but we did still have dates during weekends. I was still happy, and thought that he was also. One day, I didn't go to school because I started looking for a part-time job, because my family's financial situation worsened. My father was out of the job, and my mom was already working a low-paying job that consumed most of her time. I was outside roaming around looking for businesses to hand my resumes to when I noticed my boyfriend walking to the mall. I tried waving to him, but he didn't notice me, so I decided to sneak up on him to surprise him. But before he even reached the door, a girl came running to greet him and hugged him. At first, I thought it must just be one of his relatives because why would he cheat on me, right? I was severely mistaken. I still tried to approach them slowly, but they started walking to a restaurant. I didn't follow them in, and I just went up a floor. I texted him if he was already home, and he only replied that he was going to sleep because he was so tired. I got mad because I clearly saw him with another girl going to a restaurant at the mall, but a part of me still believed him. So I just said that he should get some rest and that I was also at home trying to rest because I didn't have much luck on finding a part-time job. But I was also at the mall. I waited at the second floor that overlooked the restaurant that I thought I saw him went in with a girl. It took more than an hour, and eventually they were finished with their dinner, and Walked out the restaurant. I was 100% sure it was. I started following them from a distance until I saw them headed to a hotel. My heart dropped. I couldn't believe it. He was cheating on me, and what's worse was that I started doubting myself if what I'm seeing was reality. Or not, maybe I was just seeing things because I'm so tired? Yes, maybe that's it. But I really couldn't deny what I was seeing. I broke down crying in the middle of the road. When people approached me, I just started to run. I ran a few kilometers to get home. When I reached our house, I was a mess and just collapsed. I woke up the next day at the hospital, and the first thing I did was ask my parents where was my boyfriend. They said that they've already contacted him 2 days ago. My mind flooded with questions, and my heart was racing. They contacted him 2 days ago? I was unconscious for 2 days? He hasn't even visited me for 2 days? I then quickly asked for my phone to check if he even messaged me, but there was none. The last message I had from him was when he said he was going to rest. I felt my head spin, and I thought that I was going to pass out again. I then remembered what I saw. Did he really found another girl and is abandoning me now? Overwhelming. Sadness enveloped me and started crying on my hospital bed. My mother tried to comfort me, but I still couldn't stop. My tears wouldn't stop flowing like a broken faucet, and the ward that I was in was echoing with cries of sadness. I've become a zombie for days, unresponsive, didn't eat, slept upright, and only the IV injected in me kept me alive. Then my boyfriend finally came. He hugged me and said that he was sorry. I finally snapped out of my trance and was crying with tears of joy. My beloved finally came. I knew it. He wouldn't abandon me. There must have been a reason why he wasn't able to come. Maybe the things I saw back then was just an illusion. That's right. It must just have been someone who looked like him. He wouldn't do that to me, was the thought going through my mind. When he was at the hospital, he was cheerful. He was joking around with me and he was making me laugh, but the happiness I was feeling right then would soon ended. When visiting hours almost ending, he cupped my hand together and started saying sorry. I told him that I forgive him that he didn't come right away and it was okay with me, but he still kept saying sorry. Then he said, I'm saying sorry, not because I didn't come sooner, but I've been cheating on you for 6 months now. My world shattered. I couldn't think and I could only try to punch him. I was so mad and angry, but I also couldn't hold back my tears. I kept asking him why, and he didn't respond. I asked again, how could he do this? Was I not enough? Then I was begging him to not leave me. I prostrated myself in front of him, shouting, begging for him to stay with me and not choose the other girl. But he only said that he loved the other girl more now, and that he couldn't be with me. Was still fighting him and even said that I would just kill myself than live in a world where we weren't together. I begged him, please stay, I'll be better, I'll do anything you want. And what he said next was the only thing that gave me some sort of hope. If my relationship with this new girl's doesn't work, I promise that I will come back. To you. So please don't be sad anymore. If the time comes when the universe allows it, we'll be together again. And I promised that I would wait for him. 4 years have passed, and they were still together, but every time they would have a fight, he would go to me to get consoled, and every time that happens, I would have my hopes up that maybe now would be the time that I would be able to reclaim my beloved. But every time, he would still choose her over me. In those 4 years, I've been committed to the promise we made, and I often would reject others right away and would tell others that I didn't want to waste time with them because I was still holding on to the promise, the hope that someday soon my beloved would choose me. But life has their surprises. Without any warning, I met such a sweet, sincere, and kind guy, Nick. He just messaged me on Facebook out of the blue that he thought that my eyes were very beautiful. I responded with a simple thank you, but he was so chatty that our conversation was everywhere. We would jump from anime to food to whatever topic, which was annoying at first. But when our conversation continued, I felt like I knew him already for a long time, and he just suddenly asked if I was hungry because we were chatting till midnight. I said I was, but there was nothing to eat in my house. So he offered to deliver me some food from a nearby 7-Eleven and deliver it to my house. At first, I didn't trust him and kept saying that he didn't need to that, but he was adamant. So I eventually gave in, What's the worst thing that could happen, right? And I woke my dad up because I said a guy was going to come to deliver me food. When he came, he actually did. Just came to deliver me food with warmest and goofiest smile I've ever seen. I was so happy that I met someone like him. Because of him, I thought that not all guys are bad, and there were still genuine guys like him. He would often hang out in our house. He didn't complain about anything. And whenever he dropped by, he would bring food for everyone to eat. He would often take care of me and my family because he understood our living conditions clearly. Because of that, he was already super close with my family. My mom and dad already saw him as a son. He asked nothing in return and just wanted to hang out. A few months later, he confessed to me that he really liked me. And I actually liked him. Also, but I rejected him because of my promise to my ex. He was heartbroken, but still he never changed. He didn't become cold or distant towards me and my family. He was even the first one outside of my immediate family to visit my dad when he was sent to the hospital due to an accident at work. He even helped us with the medical bills. He was like an angel sent down for us. Again, he never asked anything in return. He would always say that he's happy to help, and sometimes we meet people for a reason. We've been friends for months, and when it was my mother's birthday, we invited him over for drinks. He got really drunk, and that's when we first realized that underneath all his smiles, he was broken. He wasn't anything malicious, he was just very lonely. Turns out before chatting me, he's been depressed and felt like he was in complete isolation because he didn't have anyone to talk to. He can't really talk about things with his family because he didn't want to ruin his image of being the eldest that was always smiling. He always thought that it was his duty to protect his family's happiness by putting on a mask of smiles. He began telling everyone such a corny yet very sweet story, that I was his light when he was drowning in darkness, and that he was feeling genuine happiness just being with me. He passed out on our couch together with my dad, and we let them rest. My mom then dragged me to kitchen and asked me if I liked him. I did admit that I do like him a lot, but I was conflicted because I still love my ex and because of our promise. I still had hope that we'd be together again eventually. She didn't ask me any more questions, and just said that I should make better decisions. Things would remain the same, until January. My ex started texting me again looking for comfort, because his girlfriend has been fighting with him lately, and as usual, I was always there to support him. He then asked something that piqued my interest. He asked if he should just break up with her. I hurriedly then answered him with that he should and reminded him of our promise. He said he would think about it. When February came, my ex broke up with his girlfriend and we started flirting again. By this time, Nick asked me if I was free on Valentine's Day. I said I was, so he asked if he could meet me after classes. I agreed and told him that my class ended at 6 when Valentine's Day came. Around 5 p.m., one of my ex's friend texted me saying that it was an emergency because Kevin was crying and that they were going to pick me up so that I could attend to him. I hurriedly agreed, but when I came, Kevin was fine actually. They were drinking at a bar, and Kevin knew that I was still at school, so he asked his friend to make it seem like it was an emergency so that I would come and hang out with him. I was annoyed at first, but was also kind of happy. We drank till 11 p.m., and when I got home, I was surprised because Mom and Dad handed me a bouquet of flowers, chocolates, and a drawing of myself from Nick. I completely forgot that we were supposed to meet up after classes. I saw that Nick was sending me texts asking where I was. I replied and said sorry that I wasn't able to reply to him right away and wasn't able to meet up with him because something came up. But Nick didn't respond. I just simply thought that he was asleep. I plan to talk to him tomorrow when he replies, or when he comes to hang out at our house again. But tomorrow came and Nick still hasn't replied, and I thought he was just busy, and I didn't really thought about it much because I was so immersed in my ex, because our promise would finally be fulfilled and we would be together again. A few more days passed and I still haven't heard from Nick, so I texted him and asked how he was doing. Finally, he replied and said that he wasn't fine. I asked why, and he said that he had a fever. I scolded him to take better care of himself, but he instantly replied and blamed me. He explained that on Valentine's Day he waited at our school since 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., and he got sad that I stood him up, so he just spent the entire night drinking alone. I said I was sorry and I didn't know how, but apparently Nick already knew that I was getting back with my ex. He began confessing to me again and that my ex didn't deserve me, but I got angry at him, saying that I've already told him that there was no chance of us being together because I keep my promises. He also got mad at me saying that I was a hypocrite, And I really should stop saying that I keep my promise. He said that I only keep my promises to my ex. I was so mad at him because I felt attacked and blocked him. I feel sorry for Nick because even after all I've done to him, he would still visit our house briefly, only to check up if we needed anything and just leave. My mom said that she no longer sees Nick smiling, and even when he visits, he barely talks anymore. I still believe he is genuinely a nice guy, but I have Kevin again, and honestly, I believe that he is all I need. I hope Nick would find happiness. Because I have mine. My only regret is maybe I handled things with Nick incorrectly. So, am I stupid?